welcome back to the final segment of our Question 1 marijuana debate. I'm Paul Merrill, WMTW News 8 political reporter. We did go to Colorado to talk about what the issues are out there since legalization has been going on for almost 3 years. We talked to the lobbyist who was pretty much at the forefront of the push to legalize, and here's some of what he told us during our trip.
Over the last 20 years, we've seen dramatic drops in the rates of alcohol and tobacco use by teens. The rate of marijuana use has remained relatively consistent. Well, which of these products is being regulated and which is being prohibited?
And before we talk about that, let's take a look at some of that data. Now, according to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, 12.56% of Colorado youth ages 12 to 17, report using marijuana within the past month. That's more than 5% more than the national average. Of course, there's a Healthy Kids Colorado survey that spins that as 4 out of 5 young people have not used pot within the past month. Let's show you something else that survey shows. Current marijuana use, according to that data, is just about the same as the national average. And it seems like I said earlier, you can find data to back up any argument you want to make about use. My question to you is, has use gone up, gone down, stayed the same? We'll start with Scott.
It's definitely gone up. Again, if we look back to 2006, before they had medical or retail marijuana, they were 14th in the nation. It has since increased now that they've introduced both of those. And we have to remember, in Colorado, their medical marijuana system is a lot highly commercialized. They have hundreds of dispensaries, so it's a lot different. So what we know is when you increase access to marijuana, youth use goes up, and Colorado proves that. The last survey used...
Yeah, that Healthy Colorado.
One thing we need to note about that is that's not a very reliable survey because it misses some very large school districts in Colorado. So in terms of reliability and validity, it's really not as valid as compared to the national survey, which is what shows the increase.
Alicia?
Sure. So if you look again at Washington and Colorado, there's many studies out there that show that access has not increased, use has not increased, and that, again, CDC shows that perception of risk does not impact young people's decisions to take risk-taking behaviors. We know what works for kids. It's things like supportive adults and peers in their lives. It's things like avoiding early childhood adverse experiences. It's things like avoiding the stress of childhood poverty. These are the things that, in a concrete way, help support kids to make healthy decisions for themselves. It's time to stop being distracted by punishing adults for marijuana use and thinking that's somehow going to protect our kids, and putting our time and resources towards those things that we really do know will help protect our kids from engaging in all kinds of risk-taking behaviors.
Just to quickly correct, so there is a tie between perception of risk and use. If you look at the Monitoring the Future survey at the University of Michigan, which goes back to 1975, whenever you see a drop in the perception of risk, use goes up, and it's a mirror image. And right now we're in this period where perception of risk is going down and use nationally is starting to trend up.
SAMHSA said otherwise. If you look at the SAMHSA Substance Abuse and Mental Health Association of the federal government, they found that teens do not use marijuana more simply because it's less risky.
Okay, let's go to, we talked with Colorado's top health official. You heard from him earlier in the broadcast. I'm going to play you his perspective on use and revenue, what he said.
So one of the positives of legalization is since use hasn't necessarily changed, it's still high, we now have the resources required in order to educate the public as well as do surveillance and prevention when it comes to preventing youth use.
All right, so he believes that use is flat. Scott, I'm going to start with you again. Does this pay for itself if it passes?
Oh, absolutely not. What we know right now with tobacco and alcohol is for every dollar we collect in tax revenues, we're spending $10 to fix the costs, to fix the problems caused by the industries. So we know that would be the same thing with marijuana because they're already starting to use the big tobacco playbook. We're starting to see some of these outcomes in Colorado. We've already talked about it, the fatal car crashes, the ER admissions for young people who are mistaking marijuana gummy bears for THC gummy bears. So we just can, and the yes side only looks at one side of the ledger. They're only looking at the money that the state's going to bring in. You're not capturing what we're going to be paying. So this is going to be a money loser when you factor in all of the costs and not just the money that the companies make.
Alicia, the revenue officials in Colorado told us that the state's not getting rich on this, but it's not a cash cow. Does it pay for itself, or what's your perspective on what kind of money it brings in?
Yeah, it pays for itself, and again, it's not just the tax revenue, but it brings business to the state, across the state, that people will be able to benefit from. And again, I think the analogy of marijuana to tobacco and alcohol, as far as the public health costs, is very inaccurate. That you don't see the same types of issues with marijuana that you see with alcohol and tobacco. And again, we know the ways that we can prevent those issues from happening. It's public education and prevention programs, it's treatment programs, and we'll have the resources to and the focus to be able to do that.
But we don't have enough treatment resources as it is to deal with the opiate crisis, so we're not going to have the treatment resources to deal with increased marijuana addiction.
All right, I want to go to our next question. This would obviously be an enormous shift for the state. We've been asking state officials here in Maine if they are ready. The only response we've gotten so far is basically a one-sentence response from DHHS saying they're looking into it. They're kind of
encouraging.
Yeah, they're kind of waiting to see what the results will be, I guess.
Sure.
That rulemaking process, I'm sure, will be something we report on extensively should this pass. But here's the advice that Colorado's top revenue official gave us. This is what she said that she would tell states that are about to legalize marijuana.
It'll always cost you more than you think. It'll take longer than you think to really implement a good program, and it's harder than you think.
So as we mentioned earlier, Maine would be the first state east of Colorado to make this change, although Massachusetts also has it on the ballot. I'm not aware of any other East Coast states. Is it just those two? So we would be the first or one of two. Just about a minute to discuss this, 30 seconds each. Is Maine ready? Alicia, let's start with you. Can we do this?
Yes, we can do this, absolutely. Again, this is an industry that's already here. It's just operating in the black market. This is something that we have a responsibility to bring into responsible tax-regulated businesses. And yeah, a new industry is going to be a little bit complicated to implement, but we have a lot of smart minds in this state, and we have the resources to make it happen, and there's a tremendous benefits that we could reap if we're able to pass question 1 on November 8th.
Scott, are you confident Maine state government can handle this?
No, absolutely not. I mean, question 1 has the Department of Agriculture regulating marijuana, an addictive substance. They have zero experience in dealing with drugs. She mentions it's going to take a long time to get a program right. We have this loophole that's in question 1 that's going to allow for the lawful possession of marijuana by youth under the 21 as discovered by the Attorney General. So a lengthy rulemaking process is going to put many people at risk, many young people at risk for months, and that's just not acceptable.
Do you want to
Just very briefly,
yes,
I think people need to just look at the law, look at the question, the summary that was written by the Attorney General about the impact of a yes or a no vote. It says extremely clearly in there, 21 and over. That's what this law is about. All the other distractions are just that, they're distractions. You read the law, read the question, read the summaries, and that's what your vote means.
We're not voting
Scott,
on the
10
summary,
seconds.
we're voting on the 30-page bill, and in the 30-page bill is this loophole. It repeals a civil violation and does not replace it with anything for juveniles.
Okay, let's talk about the federal government. One thing we heard from everybody on every side of this issue in Colorado was the feds should be doing more, should be doing less, are standing on the sidelines. After we got back from our trip, I finally connected with the acting U.S. attorney out there, who basically said this is a state decision and we're respecting the will of the people in Colorado. You guys know that the Justice Department has put out that memo saying here's what we care about, here's what we don't care about. What should the federal government's role be? Scott, let's start with you.
Well, it's clear to me that the Cole memo doesn't have a lot of teeth behind it, because they set out these things that states are not supposed to violate before they step in, and the state of Colorado has violated every single one of them. Youth use has gone up, access to youth has gone up. It's flowing over the state lines. So it is disappointing that the federal government put out this advisory and they're not actually doing anything to back it up.
Alicia, what should
Again,
the feds be doing or not doing?
I refer to the health official that you just showed on the TV. Youth use has not gone up. Access has not gone up. So I just want to make sure people understand that. As far as the federal government goes, we take that stuff very seriously on the SN1 campaign, and we assume that our government officials here in Maine are going to take the federal government's parameters very seriously. That's why there are things like a cap on the amount of cultivation. That's why there are things in there to direct for rulemaking around access by youth. These are the sorts of things that, and impaired driving, these are the sorts of things that we also care about. So we're glad the federal government gives those sorts of parameters and directions to states that are considering legalization, and we aim to abide by them.
But just to throw in, the federal and state conflict is going to be a huge issue for any organization that receives federal funding. So that's going to be colleges, that's going to be CDLs. So that conflict is going to create a lot of headaches for people. And again, it just speaks to how our state just will not be able to handle this.
We're going to go to closing arguments. I want to ask you guys yes or no questions real quick. Do you think it's just a matter of time before this becomes legalized federally and all over the country?
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes. Predictable answers. Okay, so let's go to our closing statements. We're going to do 1-minute closing statements. Alicia, you went first for openings, so Scott Gagne from Mainers Protecting Our Youth and Communities, you will go first for the closings. Go ahead, Scott.
Thank you. Recently, the Youth of Maine just held their mock election, and one of the things that we were pleased to see is that the Youth of Maine actually came out and said question 1 was wrong for Maine. They overwhelmingly rejected question 1. And I think it's time for adults here in Maine to take their lead. And I think one of the reasons that they came out and opposing question 1 is for a lot of the reasons that we've been talking about. They see on a first-hand basis what their peers and their friends are going through when it comes to addiction. They know that this loophole that's in question 1 is going to mean more marijuana coming into the schools. It's going to mean less of their peers being able to go on to achieve their career dreams and college dreams. So that's why they've come out and opposed to question 1. And we really hope we hope Mainers will read the full 30 pages. It's just not this summary that you're voting on. Read the whole 30 pages and make sure you totally understand and vote no on November 8th.
Thank you, Scott. Alicia Melnick, yes on 1 to regulate and tax marijuana. Closing statement.
We also hope that Maine voters will read the initiative, read the full 30 pages, and you will see that this is a rational, smart policy that recognizes that marijuana is already here in Maine and that it's time to, and that punishing adult use has done nothing to stop that. It's time to bring it behind the counter of regulated businesses that abide by community standards and pay their taxes, ID their customers, and don't advertise to kids. It's time that we reap the benefits of the economy that already exists in Maine by getting the tax revenue from it. Those millions of dollars can be used again to address many of the serious issues facing our state, like the opioid crisis, domestic violence, school funding. So it's time to understand that that regulating, taxing, and legalizing marijuana for adults is a better approach. So we urge everyone to vote yes on 1 on November 8th.
All right, Alicia Melnick and Scott Gagne, thank you for a spirited debate. We thank you guys for your expertise and for joining us. That concludes our question 1 marijuana debate. Again, thanks to our guests. We hope our coverage helps viewers make informed choices on Election Day. Make sure you go out and vote on November 8th. I'm Paul Merrill from WMTW News 8. Thanks to my Colorado cohort, videographer Kevin Fowler, who made the trip with me and shot all that beautiful video you saw. Executive producer Cynthia Johnson, our whole team here at Channel 8, the technical team, the management team, and everybody in this building. We hope that you have enjoyed the debate. We hope you learned something. We hope you vote on November 8th, and we hope you stick with us for election coverage through the final votes being cast. Thank you. Good night.